Hello everyone, I'm your king, Willis Mikky, and welcome back to the YouTube channel. Today, I bring to you r/relationship advice. So, how about we get started and see what this first story has entailed for us. And this first story does have an update, and this first story is titled, I, 28 male, saw a text from my wife's 27 female male co-worker saying that she has the best in town and not sure what to think. Earlier today, when my girlfriend was getting ready in the morning, I saw a text pop up on her phone. I usually wouldn't look, but she left it on the bed face up, and her text came through pretty prominently from a male coworker that she told me about in passing. Let's call him Doug. So I had no clue what the context of the situation was, but all I saw was one text saying, "You sure do have the best in town," with that exact emoji. And those who may not be listening, I believe that is a shrimp emoji. So now I'm just confused because I feel like that's some code for something. She was also hella dodgy when I casually dropped that Doug texted her. She avoided my gaze for the rest of the morning while we were getting ready, and seemed distracted when I dropped her off. Thoughts on what that might mean, or how should I approach her? As I said before, I do believe that is a shrimp emoji. I could be wrong. It could be a lobster, it could be a prawn, it could be something else. But before I give my commentary on this situation and what I think, let's see what the community thinks first. Our first reply states, "Hey, can you cook us some shrimp tonight?" "Oh, you can't? Doug said you had the best in town." And somebody replies underneath that reply with, "This is the correct approach, lol." And then somebody replies underneath the original comment with, "Talking about breaking the ice, great idea, just sit back and watch her squirm." The next reply says, "Well, either she makes a mean gumbo or she's effing Doug. I'll let you decide which is more likely, especially considering she felt so guilty she couldn't make eye contact." The next reply says, "Sit her down. This has been bugging me since I saw the text pop up. What did he mean you have the best in town?" with the shrimp emoji. This reply says, "Unless she bought in Cajun shrimp to work for her coworkers to try, I think you know the answer." This commenter says, "Guys, everyone chill. It's the lobster." Oh shit. No, this one is the lobster. She's definitely effing Doug. Now it's time for my commentary, and OP, do more investigation. Honestly, don't try to jump to conclusions too quick, but if you find something, or if her behavior has been weird lately and you haven't noticed it, but now since this incident popped up, start noticing if maybe she's keeping her phone by her side or she's doing other shady things. And also, really look at how she reacted when you brought up the text, because that is weird that she did not make eye contact with you, nor did she really talk to you. So that is a sign something is happening. So OP, do more investigation. That's my advice to you. But hey, let me know in the comment section down below, what advice would you have for this OP? But we won't have to wait too long, because now let's check out this update to see how this story ends. So we broke up. Turns out the best in town was exactly what I feared, but I'm honestly kind of relieved. We had our problems, and this was probably for the best for me at least. The only thing that sucks is that she refused to tell me what the hell the emoji meant in that context. Honestly, all of the guesses the people have been throwing out here had been cracking me up and helping to keep me sane right now. Moral of the story, never date a girl with best in town. So it turns out the best in town. Hey, maybe I did see some replies saying that it could be tail. That is possible, but I never heard it in that context, especially with a emoji like that too. I think there's other things you could have used tail for. I'm not really a big emoji user. So you can tell me anything is an emoji and I would believe you because I barely use them. I practically never use them. But hey, OP, I am glad you got the truth and I am hoping you have a better life without this person. So best of luck to you, OP. So now let's go on to the next story that also has an update. I, 34 female, like degrading and insulting sex. Since I gave birth, my husband, 30 male, says he can't do it anymore. I'm getting bored. How do we get past this? I'm 34 and my husband is 30. I don't know why I enjoyed this kind of sex. I've never been abused or assaulted in any way, and I grew up in a loving and caring family. So there's no underlying reason for it. I like to be insulted during sex. Insult my looks, my body, hit me, use me, etc. Holy shit, I was not expecting that. Not all the time, obviously, but I'd like to say that 1 out of every 5 times with my husband, sex would end up this way, and I love it. It was always my favorite. Just over a year ago, I gave birth and my husband said he couldn't do it anymore. He said he couldn't treat the mother of his child that way. It got me mad and I said, I'm more than just a mom. I'm a woman with my own personality and wants and needs. I get where he's coming from. I really do. And maybe this is a bit to do with me feeling like I've lost my identity since becoming a mom. But he can't even bring himself to spank my ass or squeeze my boobs. We still have sex a couple times a week, but it's always me initiating, and then it's either just him on top or him from behind. And he doesn't even pull my hair anymore when he's behind me. Has anyone else been through anything like this? Will it get better, or is that side of our sex life gone now? Edit. Why are people acting like I only asked for this recently? He started this 8 years ago when we first met. He always initiated it. People say it's because he respects me too much. Well, he still asks me to eat his peach every time we have sex. He doesn't mind the mother of his kid. Okay, yeah, I'm just gonna censor that, honestly. So before I give my commentary, let's see what the community has to say about this situation. And the first reply is exactly what I thought. The edit got me out. And somebody replies underneath that, the edit ate me out. Come on, dude. Honestly, I'm not even gonna give the comment. Like, okay, no, I will, screw it. Just on the edit though. That really caught me off guard. But let's continue with this next reply. Saying, something I've learned from my 14-year relationship is that sex lives change. Desires change. Attitudes change. Bodies change. My advice is this. Instead of trying to recreate things that worked in the past, see what new intensely erotic experiences you can co-create together in your new forms. Try to let go of the ideas of what you want and follow the erotic charge between you. You like degradation and he won't give it to you? Beg for it. Humiliate yourself. Sex is a game. Incorporate his moves. The next reply says, very similar for me and my husband. I'm similar to you in my taste. However, I went through a very rough pregnancy 2 years ago. Dislocated pelvis, never-ending morning sickness, etc. And he was with me through the completion, unmedicated birth process. To be honest, I think it traumatized him to see the pain I endured. Well, no, I know it did. For months after, my darling treated me like I was a glass ornament. He was terrified to break. Personally, it was a relief at first, just because I did have such a rough pregnancy and birth. I needed time to heal, plus I like my cuddling lull. But it took almost a year and a half to get back into sex the way we used to. So I certainly understand your frustration when you're feeling fine and they're not. Communication is important. I highly recommend finding a sex therapist if you can. The next reply says, laughing out loud at the edit. You gotta talk to him, man. And now it's time for my commentary. Communication, honestly. Communication is the #1 thing in a relationship. In OP, you gotta communicate your wants with him. And to a certain extent, I can understand both sides. Because I would hate to see my partner go through a rough pregnancy and not want to harm them. But I can also understand not me feeling like I can take something, or I don't need help, or I don't need nurturing. I can understand that as well. But communicate with your husband, OP. Once you communicate and have long discussions with your husband about your feelings, listen to his feelings too. That's very important. Both of you just sit down, have an adult conversation together. But now let's check out this update to see how this story ends. I know I only posted this a few days ago, but it's been playing on my mind, so I had to talk to him last night. I told him he's getting nothing off me until he tells me why. Then he said, if I tell you, I'll never get anything off you again. So what's the point? I then messaged my mom and asked her to come pick our child up for the night, as I know this was going to be bad. She came, and as soon as they were gone, I asked him to explain himself. He said since watching a child come out of me and me breastfeeding, which he was very much against, he said he finds me gross, and that's why we only have sex missionary and doggy, so he can get it over and done with quickly. This had me crying my eyes out. And then he said, I've also been having sex with Chloe and Andy. They are 2 young women he used to work with who live together, and we can see their flat from our house. He was telling me all about how he'd go around and they wouldn't have threesomes, but they both knew about each other. And they let him choose whenever he went around which one he wanted, and sometimes he'd even have both one after the other. How great for him! I'm so happy. While I'm here looking after our baby, he said he was going to the gym or the shop, or the worst one, he told me he'd walk our dog to their house, and then they take turns holding up our dog in the communal garden while he was upstairs having sex with the other one, or picking them up in his car that I pay for and having sex with them in there. So at 10:30 last night, he was packed and out of the house. So now let's check out the final story that also has an update. Last week, out of nowhere, my 25 male wife, 24 female, told me that she doesn't love me romantically and wants to take space. Will I regret it if I don't fight, or is it best just to let her walk away? So my wife and I met when we were both in high school. We liked each other from afar. And then in 2020, when I moved back into our hometown, she began pursuing me heavily. I didn't need much convincing, so pretty quickly, we were dating. We fell in love hard and fast. And after 6 months of dating, we eloped in the woods with our closest friends. Stupid, I know. But up till now, it seemed like the best decision I ever made. We've now been married for almost 4 years. The first year was wonderful. We moved in together, I got a real adult job as an accountant, and my dog fell in love with her too. Then about a year ago, after a date night at a bar and a couple of drinks, she tells me she has been feeling a little off about us. Like we're roommates, and that she thinks it might be because of some minor communication challenges in the contrasting work hours we are having. She says she has been considering leaving, but needs to think about it and decide what to do. So over the last year, we worked to improve our marriage, and I had thought it worked. She never brought up wanting to leave again for the last year. She only ever said she wanted to be with me. So, cut to now. Last week, she came to me again after a date night at a bar. What is it about date nights? And said the same thing again. Only this time, she has told me that she loves me but sees me as her best friend. She said when we are intimate, it's strange for her because she knows it doesn't mean the same for her as it does for me. When she kisses me and we cuddle at night, she says it's because it's routine, not because she has romantic feelings for me. She's leaving at the end of the month to stay with her mom. She has promised to consider giving us another shot, but has also said she isn't sure if it's really what she wants anymore. Does anyone think this sounds salvageable? And if it isn't, how do I process this? Edit. I should have included this, but my wife has also said throughout this week that she is confused on what to do. I don't believe there's anyone else because she said she just doesn't want to be with anyone. But that if she gets to a place where she's ready to try again, then she would only want me. She said she should have taken space when she first felt this way, but didn't. And now she needs to give it the time our marriage deserves. This whole thing has been confusing. Now let's go to the replies to see what they think about this situation. The first reply says, I don't think I could get over my wife telling me she didn't think of me romantically anymore. Given she feels this way, what is there left to salvage? The next reply says, sounds like your wife is bored and looking for greener pastures. She probably already has someone in mind that is giving her attention and it feels good. The break is just to try out the new guy. If you say you are a placeholder if it doesn't work out. If she insists on a break, I would just give her a divorce and she can explore all she wants. Staying in waiting will just screw up your mental health even more. And a deleted user says, if she wants to make it work, counseling could help. If she doesn't, you're done. Sorry, man. Just be glad you don't have kids yet. And now it's time for my commentary, and for me, I don't know if there's somebody else because nothing is really pinpointing it, because this isn't the first time this has happened either in their relationship. Over a year ago, the same thing popped up. So I'm just gonna go into it thinking there's nobody else. And if she really feels this way and feels this strongly, honestly, it's time to leave, I think. And I know that's a hard thing and a hard pill to swallow, but if she's unhappy, let her go. If she's not appreciating you, if she thinks you as a best friend and not as her husband, then yeah, divorce, honestly, because you guys have tried counseling, talking, it's not working. And if you can't change her mind, there's nothing you can do. So OP, you're going through the emotions and everything, but I think it's time to let it go. And as I said, I don't know if there's another partner. I like to believe that there isn't another person involved, that she is possibly cheating on you. But that is my hope of it, not really being something involving cheating. Personally, I would like it if everybody would never cheat, but my hopes and what I want is not reality either. So there's that too. So how about we check out the update to see how this story ends. My wife didn't move out, but she will be after Thanksgiving. And she will be doing so because we both decided it's what is right. Since posting this, we spent a fantastic month together just talking, the good, the bad, the ugly, and the amazing. I started going to therapy and so did she. Over the last month of talking, I really listened to her and I realized I was feeling very similar to how she's feeling. We are best friends, and I think that's all we've been for a while. We got married as kids, caught up in the whirlwind romance, and it was everything it needed to be. We've grown up, both of us, and while I wish she had maybe handled this sort of out of nowhere declaration of unhappiness a little bit better, I think this was also the best thing she could have done for me. We spent the last month going on dates, hiking, cooking dinner together, sleeping together, sexually and just physically. And instead of it feeling like the end of my marriage, it has felt like the beginning of the most beautiful relationship I ever had. For those on the she's cheating bandwagon, I do still believe you're wrong. Even after we separated fully, she has said she would still like to be best friends / friends with benefits, etc. Up until the point I would eventually want to move on or become uncomfortable with it. There is a lot of background to who she is as a person when it comes to relationships. That is not my right to share, but intimacy is very hard for her, and so are relationships in general. So she is pretty adamant that she will not be sleeping with anyone for a long time. Furthermore, she has said that if I'm willing, she would always be open to trying and dating again, after a bit of space for her to figure out her own things mentally. Not sure if that's something I will want to do, but I'll never say never. While it's probably unconventional to some, this woman will always be at my family's Thanksgiving, Christmas, Easter, etc. And I'll always be at hers. My dad's first wife and mom of my sister is best friends with my mom and has come to every holiday for the last 26 years. And that's what I see for us too. So, too long didn't read. It's a happy update, just not the one I expected. And OP, I kind of agree with that final statement. It is a happy update. And honestly, I said it before, I am not on the cheating bandwagon either, because sometimes it's not as simple as, oh, this person's sleeping with somebody else, this person's stepping out on you, or somebody to make the bad guy. Sometimes it's not like that, and Reddit does have a bit of a track history of doing that. But sometimes, and I do believe this is a thing, some people just fall out of in love. They don't love each other the way they used to. The spark has died, and the spark has been dripped in water, and now you can't light the fuse anymore. That's what I think happened. And it seems like you two still do love each other, but not the way it used to be. Like, there's still love, there's still caringness. But I do think it's best for you guys to split. And the best thing is, you both seem happy. And also, it doesn't seem like something in the future is off the table. That's also a positive. So, OP, I wish both you and your wife, or your soon-to-be ex-wife, the best in the future. Best of luck to the both of you. So hey, that was r/relationship advice. Let me know in the comment section, what do you think of today's stories? What would you do if you were in these OP's situations? Let me know that in the comment section down below. But for now, I've been your king, Willis Mikky, and your king is signing